here we go on Odyssey. Game number 1, Ganzi is the red Zerg on the right-hand side of the map.
What?
Red Terran on the right-hand side of the map. And TLO, the blue Zerg in the top left corner. Andre, it's Odyssey once again. TVZ for another repeat. Now, TLO plays ZVT much different than Sen does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He has a very unorthodox style. He's been actually seen to do whatever the position calls for, which I really like about him. I've seen him play macro style, seen him play very tech style, I've seen him play very all-in style. So there's a lot of different options for him. It's not like Sen where no matter what the map is, he's looking to get his 4th, 5th, 6th base up and just swarm you with a million units and have a ton of drones backing that up as well. So I really like that. I actually think that it suits TLO a lot better to do it that way. But I do want to mention the positioning of this barracks really quickly. It is off positioned.
Yes, it's off the scout pattern. And actually, I'm not sure if the watchtower is within range of that. And I mean, nonetheless, TLO is not going to be scouting immediately. And it's actually kind of tricky because in ZVT, if you send a delayed scout, you know, it's often because you're trying to play a little bit grease, need a couple more drones in, and all you're really worried about is the 2 racks. But the fact is they can get a lot of information if they initially scout, so a lot of times Zerg players recommend scouting, but you can see that Ganzi is going to immediately place a bunker just outside the range. The drone just missed it as well. TLO's going to send this drone because it was a rally to gather from the minerals, and he does see it. So that's a really big, good thing there. But
now, how many drones does he send? It will only be 3. I love the positioning of this, but the first Marine will get over here. And that drone needs to scatter as fast as possible. He's going to go and try to get that 1 SCV, but it actually tucks away in the perfect position.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
That SCV placement. And, oh, Ganzi's going to have to run now. The thing is, drones can catch Marines really easily.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
he kills SCV.
Yeah, he kills it just in time. And just like that, Ganzi is heading on home.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Abandoned project. And, I mean,
TLO almost got punished, by the way, for not having his Overlord in the correct position. He was trying to get his 2nd Overlord to actually come over here and be able to scout out, whether it be Suicide or at least catch the 2nd refinery. But he wasn't able to get there in time, obviously, because of the incoming push. So just the choices there. We can see TLO trying to be a little bit greedier with his scouting, which is okay. I still like that. And he had the drone there to actually intercept it. I don't think any... 1 drone was killed. Okay.
TLO is gonna just, you know, do everything else pretty normally. Drone up at this point. No gas out of him just yet. We see double gases. Very common transition from every single Terran player in the entire world. No doubt Ganzi will soon start his factory. There it is. Now, Odyssey, we saw Strelok go for Marine Tank. And he didn't really do much with his initial Hellions. And Ganzi is known to be a very aggressive TVZ player.
Yes.
He loves dropping mid-late game. Actually, he just loves dropping any opportunity he can. I mean, he grew up with MMA, practically his twin brother in terms of that. Just loves that kind of style, and I would expect it. And you can see immediate aggression out of him onto these queens, but TLO spreading his creep, very characteristic of him as well. He loves creep.
Yeah, creep spread is probably his #1 thing that he's best known for in his Zerg vs. everything matchups. And I love that style. And look at this, a fast 3rd base coming out from TLO. Now, Ganzi's style, as you said, is very aggressive. How does he actually go about dealing with this 3rd base? There's so many numerous ways. And look at that, the 2nd factory is put down. So he is looking to do Blue Flame Hellions. A lot of Blue Flame Hellions at this point.
Cool. And this is, we've seen Ganzi go for things like Marine Hellion timings with 2 base and really punish Zergs for staying on strictly Zergling style. Now, whether or not Ganzi is aware that TLO has an odd fascination with 150 Zerglings by like 15 minutes in the game, I don't know, but this is exactly what Ganzi could do to punish TLO's certain kind of style. As you can see, TLO, he's also one of those players just not afraid to go incredible amount of Zerglings until late game, and then finally utilize his gas to switch. And I'm curious on what his plan is for this game as well.
Yeah, and I do want to mention that TLO is making a lot of assumptions about Ganzi. He actually doesn't have any indication or has no way to actually put him on what he's doing. A 3rd command center actually gets placed for Ganzi. So he's looking to go for, I don't know if there's a mech style yet.
Well,
it still is up in the air. I would say it's most likely going to be mech for the rest of this game, seeing as stim and combat shields is so far away. So as you can see,
getting a reactor.
It's a reactor. It's not a tech lab. We will be seeing mech coming out from Ganzi from here on out.
Cool.
And let me tell you, if TLO plays this in the dark for the rest of the game, and he's preparing for Marine Marauder with just Zerglings and upgrades, and all of a sudden mech comes out, he's dead. Like, you need to have the right composition against mech. You can't just be that fluid.
The one thing that is really good against Hellions is creep. Just spreading your creep in general, especially when you have speedlings out, just gives you that ability to really catch up to them. But the problem is Blue Flame is finished, and TLO still has no idea of it. Oh, no, just kidding. He has an idea now. The Hellions do reveal themselves, and TLO is now evacuating that third. And Ganzi's like, well, there's such poor saturation at this third. Doesn't really have to do much. He's just going to put his Marines in position. The Queen's now getting in there as well. But I think Ganzi's okay confronting this. You can see that TLO's finishing up his Bane. He's trying to see if he can go for a surprise attack, but the Queens are in the way. He's definitely not efficient management of the army, but you can see the Baneling immediately going onto one of the Hellions. A very nice explosion indeed.
Good job taking out the Marines, which is so important. Now the Queens, with that buff, the 5 range helps out so much. Now the Hellions can't really clump up as easily. The Queens are able to do a lot more damage against those Hellions. And look at that, and just like that, TLO comes out way ahead in that engagement. Let's look at the income tab, 62 to 49. Of course, as we always say, the orbital command centers help out so much. Wow, he's transitioning into bio. I was not expecting this at all, Frodan. That is very
surprising. Me neither. Because I mean, usually you see them get such a delayed stim, they're not going to have any kind of mid-game power.
Precisely,
but now he's transitioning back into, he's got double eBay. This is a total mind game here from Ganzi. As you can see, he's still trying to rise. His Hellions are so close to the Banelings.
Oh,
and
Banelings from the side.
Trying to go for a flank, picks off a huge amount of those Hellions. But at the same time, Ganzi is completely okay with that because, I mean, he's going for bio.
I think Ganzi has nothing right now. He literally has nothing going for him.
4 Hellions and 5 Marines and 3 orbital command.
Like, he has... I'm trying to think of an advantage that he could possibly have. He's behind in tech. He's behind in economy. He's behind in army. Oh, I just dropped a huge water bottle on my keyboard. Yeah, he's behind in everything. So, TLO, go. Yay.
Yeah, so TLO's looking pretty sharp at this point, but he still hasn't been droning as strong as he could be. He's at 58, and Ganzi's actually caught up completely. Now, Ganzi's still producing a couple of Hellions. He's also transitioning with some tanks. Look at how many barracks are coming out here all at once. Ganzi going for an explosion of units. And TLO hasn't really been able to capitalize on that much. He doesn't have that 4th hatchery that you're so used to getting earlier on if you go for... Oh, just kidding. He actually had it up for a while. He doesn't have the Queen, though, really paying attention to it. So actually, TLO's playing fine. You're right. I missed that, and that's my mistake. And I repent for that. One
thing I would say, TLO not getting his 5th and 6th gas actually hurts him quite a bit. I think he would have a much bigger advantage if he had that, but look at that. Pneumatized Carapace is coming out here. No Ventral Sack, so we're not going to see any drop play just yet. Blue Flame Hellions are going to be cleaned up, though, or at least a good chunk of them. Marines are going to come out into the field. They do have 1-1, but 2-2 is almost finished, halfway finished for TLO. So he will have that slight advantage over there, but it really goes into the economy. TLO has a booming economy right now, and he knows where his advantage is, and he's just going to continue off of that. I love it. The only thing I don't like is TLO has no indication as to what his opponent is doing. It could
he's
be
been
mech.
Playing pretty blind. He hasn't really sacked any Overlords, and he has Overlord speed. He's finally going to do it.
Look at this. I love these Overlords. They're beautiful. And now we will get in here and see. Okay, it's bio. I'm good. No worries, man.
With that many reactors, let's see. 6 barracks. He sees a reactor all in line. This is quite absurd if I've ever seen it. And TLO's like, oh, wow, so much bio. And that's going to queue up TLO to start making a lot of Banelings. He's going to get his Infestors out very soon, which gives him a lot of ability to pressure. But look at the creep spread from TLO. Just very trademark TLO in ZVT, or ZV anything, just like you said. He's going to try to see if he can pressure the third, but Ganzi's very good about it, setting up a very systematic defense of that bunker similar to Straylock. But from this point, Ganzi's, I think he's comfortable. He's going to get +2/+2 very soon with his +1 vehicular weapons. Might go for a push, but regardless, it's going to take a long time if he's not careful. With this much creep spread, you can always get flanked really easily, and TLO loves his flanks.
Well, you can get flanked. You can get caught out of position. You can get back attacked.
You
or
can get tickled.
You can get tickled.
You can get noogied from behind,
Wet
which
willied.
is the worst. You can get a wedgie.
An atomic wedgie.
Those are from the worst. Andre gave me one the other day. I was like, why? He's like, just because you're a dweeb. And I'm like, all right, man. And I pretty much summarized the entire plot of Saved by the Bell.
I didn't like that show as much as Full House.
Oh, okay. Full House is really good too. But you know what's also really good, Andre?
StarCraft?
And I'm tapping my hand. Sensor towers. And I love the fact that Ganzi's doing it, especially against TLO style. And now he's gearing up. +2/+2 in combat. Shield's lining up very perfect for this timing. But is he going to be prepared? TLO actually doesn't have that many units out. If you think about it, he's got 123 Zerglings, as we said, but he's got only a few Banelings behind it. He's waiting for his Ultralisks. And
yeah, I would go for the back attack here. I don't know why he's actually trying to engage in the army. But this is fine. Catching the siege tanks way out of position. Banelings will explode on the siege tanks, but I'll take that anytime. Oh my gosh, Banelings coming from the top. And the Marines just decimate so fast. Very nicely played by TLO. But he is behind in the supply count. The Ultras will pop out in great timing, though. We'll see if they're able to be relevant at all.
Yeah, wow. The flank there against the units was too strong, and that's again a testament to the fact that the creep spread allowed TLO to get into that position. You can see the Marines trying to get in there to target down the rest of that Ultralisk, which survived with 7 HP. And again, imagine if Ganzi was able to take position with those tanks.
Exactly.
This game would be a different story. Ganzi's 2-2 timing completely shut down. He was going to have to go back to the drawing board.
And TLO, I think, was very, very fortunate in that engagement. Catching all those siege tanks out of position really gave TLO the ability to clean all of that up. Without that, he was completely dead. That's why I said go for the back attack. Try to kill that third base, and then give up your fourth base, go 3 base against 2, and use your Ultras to really clamp down and get a great sandwich on your opponent's units. But, TLO showing why he is one of the best Zergs, I think, in the European scene. He is... Oh my gosh, and look at this creep spread too. He actually has so much creep spread, the creep tumors are taking away positions for him to expand, and he had to kill his own creep tumor in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, and you can see that at this point, Ganzi really can't get a 4th base. He's going to run out of minerals soon at his main. He's going to have to start thinking about expansion opportunities. And, actually, he's almost getting mine out of his natural as well, so pretty soon Ganzi's going to be on 1 base, and he's going to have to make something happen. Now, he is maxed again. And he could wait for +3/+3 and do this more systematically. It's a big characteristic thing for Ganzi to kind of be over-aggressive and rush the push. But this time he's going to take it more systematic, and I think he understands what TLO's capable of this time.
Yeah, and I do like the drop that he has in the top left-hand corner, really abusing the fact that his opponent doesn't have any anti-air for now, 4 Corruptors out in the way. But now the 5th base is under attack, and meanwhile the 3rd base is under attack from Ganzi. 2 command centers go down. Very nicely done. And look at that, the Ultras will sweep in. Fungal Growths get placed. It looks like he will be able to defend the 5th base as well.
Well, you can see the SCVs are on hold position, really trying to hold off the Zerglings, and TLO is just going to put his units on hold position. Meanwhile, Ganzi more than content with taking out those units. In fact, I think Ganzi realizes that this push has to work. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to get any traction whatsoever. The Infestor's trying to come in for a fungal, but just as soon as they get in, they have to evacuate because Ganzi has way too many units. You can see Ganzi's still trying to push in at the 3rd. He's finally starting to stabilize. There's only 1 Ultralist left, and I guess that Ultralist is good enough to deny mining time for now. Ganzi still has an incredible amount of medevac, so he can keep on stimming, really trying to reduce the effectiveness of the fungals. Nonetheless, though, this is still TLO's position to lose. He's going in for another attack, and every siege tank he whittles down is good news for TLO.
Yes, and I think these trades actually favor him quite a bit since the 3rd base hasn't been working for quite a long time. And Ganzi, well, look at that actually. He's at 182 supply to TLO's only 135. Did TLO really, where are all of his units?
Well, TLO did section off a lot of his units to go for 3rd base, and also a lot of his supply was in Zerglings. Don't forget that, and Ganzi was able to really kite back for a while, so Ganzi taking out this base is still looking pretty strong. Oh, in fact, Ganzi's his 3-3 is looking very, very sharp as well. Because again, he had that timing, and that's why he was slow pushing to wait for that 3-3. And Ganzi, if he can take out this base, it's going to be even more fearsome. TLO doesn't really have a direct answer to this. Oh my goodness.
I can't believe it. I'm really confused about what happened. I feel like TLO should have more units.
Yeah,
like
I thought he was preparing a huge hive tech switch, you know?
Yeah. I know the Greater Spire is finished at this point. And I don't know if Broodlords are being prepared. I don't think so. But here we go. Banelings, can they get good positioning?
They can, and the Ultralisk should be able to clean up here as they do have 5-3, making it a little bit harder.
Oh, man. Those Banelings, man. So juicy.
Banelings do end up doing a lot of damage there. But again, Ganzi's just going to fall back after he took out so many of the bases from TLO. And I'm going to have to attribute a lot of it to the fact that TLO didn't have a lot of drones. The expansion dropped from Ganzi, a very important snipe indeed. Regardless, though, the army size from Ganzi, look at it. You just press the Control-A, man. It's just so much in favor of Ganzi.
That's actually sickening to see. And all those medevacs out in the field, it makes it so difficult. So he needs a ton of burst damage if he wants to kill this army. But look at that. Fungal growth goes down, but it's just not enough burst damage. That's what we were talking about.
Insane.
I can't believe this. Ganzi is actually going to weather the storm and come back and win this game. I don't see any way for TLO to actually win from here.
The medevacs are playing absolute vital roles for the Terran army as Fungals are pretty much ineffective by how much Ganzi's able to heal. Look at that. He's got 14 medevacs, all with a lot of energy to spend. Ganzi is able to really do anything he wants. He moved out his expansion to go to the third base because at this point he's running out of options. TLO trying to pick off whatever he can, but I mean at this point Ganzi realizes TLO is running on fumes as well. He's not really mining anything. He's down to just 28 drones as well. I'm just floored by how TLO didn't have enough units at that time, considering how much map dominance he had.
I'm so confused, man.
Well, we'll find out the conclusion of this game very soon. If TLO loses Infestors before he's able to fungal, and with that, the remaining hopes of our Zerg. And it looks like TLO he's transfusing pretty well, but his queens are now out of energy, and he's got only a couple Infestors left to really hold off the onslaught, but there's just way too many units. The Fungals are not doing anything. GG. Ganzi takes game number 1 on Odyssey, and holding out, despite being turtled on 3 base for a long time, and making very strong timings. I mean, it was just a really good push, but man, Andre, what happened, man?
I'm not sure. I need to go back into that. It felt like there was some sort of hiccup in the macro for TLO. There were supposed to be more units than that.
Did he miss the injects? Did he not have enough larva?
I'm not sure, dude. I mean, there were 4, 5, 6 bases out. Ganzi went for an attack on the top right-hand corner. TLO went for a counterattack at the third, did a lot of damage over there.
Yeah, he killed off. Ganzi was down to 30 workers, up from 60-something, so he did an incredible amount of damage.
There's a problem in the fact that Ganzi was able to max faster than TLO when he pushed out for the second time. I don't know why that happened. That shouldn't have happened.
He was waiting for ultras. He had enough gas. He was limited by minerals. I think maybe just not enough. I have to go back. We have to really go back. Maybe we can save that for the time we break down the game. But guys, if you want a second look, maybe you can tell us what happened. Maybe we were too busy focusing on the pushes. Maybe there's something in the production we missed. Go to youtube.com/NASL and let us know so we can do that for a segment in the future. But for now, we must focus on the next game that will be brought to you soon. But we want to thank Twitch for doing everything for the stream for NASL Season 3. And again, guys, let us know about what happened maybe during the break as we come back. Game number 2 between TLO and Ganzi. Find out if TLO is able to even out the series.